Hey, what's going on, guys? I just wanted to take a minute to tell you about the mods I have done to my car, the options I bought it with, and any future plans I have for it. So, here we go. So, I bought the car, obviously in jungle green metallic, which was a, sight unseen decision that I made. I never saw it, so when I ordered it, I didn't know what to expect, but, I'm really happy with what the color looks like in person, because it's definitely something you got to see in person in the right daylight to appreciate. Also, the only other options really that you get to choose when you buy one of these or order one like I did is, do you want a manual transmission or an automatic? And I have a manual trans. And then two other things you could get were a sunroof, which I did get, and then the only other option at that point is a full-size spare tire, which I didn't get. And not that it wasn't a good deal, because it actually was at $500 for basically an entire chrome wheel and tire just like the front wheels that come on the car, with the exception of a tire pressure sensor, I believe. I don't think it came with that, but that's neither here nor there. But you also got a jack to jack the car up, put the tire on if you got a flat. So my car, instead, I just have the tire inflator kit, which I've never had to use one before, but my other two cars both have them, so I've never really, thought down about them. I know they exist for a reason, but ultimately my decision to not get the spare tire was based solely on the fact that I wanted to get aftermarket wheels for the car. So as you can see, I bought these wheels on the car now. I bought these ones in January of 2015 before I even had the car. So I didn't know what they would look like on the car. I had never seen them in person, but looking online, I looked through a lot of different types of wheels, and these are the ones I kind of fell in love with, because they're a satin, or a gloss, gunmetal finish, and they are TSW Bathurst. Now, the size of the wheels and tires are the same exact size as the stock setup, which is 19 by 8.5 up front, and 19 by 9.5 out back. Now, the only difference being these wheels, the fronts have a plus 35 millimeter offset, and the rears have a plus 39 millimeter offset. So they fill out the wheel wells a lot better, and it makes the car's stance look, in my opinion, more correct, because the stock wheel and tire setup that this car has makes it look kind of narrow, and it just, I don't know, never really looked right to me. And plus, I wasn't a fan of the chrome wheels. Not that I hate them, they don't look bad to me, but it just wasn't for me. So the other thing was that the HSV GTS came with satin gray wheels like this color, and when I saw a picture of that on jungle green, I fell in love. But the only thing with these wheels was, when they showed up and I put them on, the front wheels were very close to the brake caliper, and I tested it. I spun it around before I lowered the car. It didn't touch, but as you can see, it did. And I don't know when that happened, but I definitely didn't want that to happen again. So I, at that point, went online and tried to find wheel spacers that fit my bolt pattern, which this is not a crazy bolt pattern. I think it's shared with BMWs and obviously a G8, but I did find a place that offered 3 millimeter wheel spacers, which is what I was looking for, because I didn't want something crazy. I just needed it far enough away from the caliper that it wouldn't rub anymore. And ordered those. Those honestly took a little longer than I expected to show up. That was maybe like a month and a half, but they came here, I put them on, and from there everything was perfectly fine. So the tires on here are Bridgestone Potenza RE760 Sports, and honestly, I don't have anything bad to say about them, other than wet performance isn't the best. But I can't really compare them to the stock tires, because again, I had these wheels and tires showed up before the car ever did. So the first day that I had this thing was, obviously I drove it around a little bit and showed it to my friends and family, but ultimately that first night when I brought the car home was when I put the wheels on. When I put the wheels on and the tires on, I kind of took a look at it and thought it looked pretty good. But the one thing now that was kind of bothering me, that was pointed out a lot of times after I had brought the car around and shown a lot of people, is that it looked too high off the ground, which it kind of does. The car was standing up a little high, and just the general look of it wasn't as clean as I wanted it to be. Well, Eibach offers lowering springs, and so do Granatelli, and then I think Maverick Man has coilovers. Well, my car being a mag ride car, I didn't want to do the full coilover because that would eliminate the mag ride. So from there, I basically just decided that I would get the Eibach lowering springs. So with those, I lowered the car 1.2 in the front, I believe, and 1.3 inches in the rear. And now the car stands a lot better than how it had. And from there, the other mods I have done to the car are really just the tinted windows, which was a must just because I didn't like how it looked like I was in a fishbowl. And then I also wanted a louder exhaust system and a little bit more power. So I chose to go with Stainless Works headers, high flow cats, and their full exhaust system. And I bought that from Maryland Speed, which they had a deal at the time with the Rotofab intake, so I picked that up as well. The Stainless Works exhaust, as you can see, is a dual tip, dual outlet, so 4 tips in the back. And I like that a lot more than the single tip exit that the car has stock, which a lot of the aftermarket companies, they have quad tips, so it really wasn't like that was the deciding factor. But ultimately it was just because of the sound. I liked how they sounded. They didn't sound too like NASCAR-ish, which these cars can be if you get like, you know, Cook's long tubes or even the Stainless Works long tubes, but keep the stock mufflers. They kind of, I don't know, they sound too out there for me. I wanted something that sounded a little cleaner, so that's ultimately why I chose these. The intake I installed myself with no help in my garage in about an hour, so it's a rather simple install. But the exhaust system I did have to do at my brother's house on his lift, and that took about a day to do, and we were all done. We technically weren't done because we had to basically break one of the O2 sensors to get it out because it just didn't want to come out. Seized up, which I've heard is a common problem with this drivetrain. So we had to get the new O2 sensor, which took a day or two to show up at the AutoZone or wherever we got it from. Got that, put it in the next day, 2 days, whenever, and car ran just fine, but I had check engine light. So I had to get the car tuned. So I took the car to Speed Inc. in Schaumburg because I'm semi-familiar with them. I've never had anything done by them, but my brother has and some friends of mine have, so they're a pretty reputable shop. Not paid by them or anything, but I do support them. I think they're a great operation over there. Now, I dropped the car off on a Friday morning to be tuned by them this past spring, and they were done with it rather quickly, and he sent me the dyno chart and the video of them doing the pull. Now, my car didn't quite hit 400 at the wheels. It's like 399.6, so I'm a little disappointed in that, but ultimately the car drives just as well as I hoped it would. It's it turned out great, and I'm really happy with the results, so I'm not complaining about having 399 to the rear wheels. But with like a 13 to 15% driveline loss, that puts me around, I don't know, 460 to maybe 480 horsepower, somewhere in there. So I don't know, I'm pretty happy. I definitely feel like the car's faster. It's definitely picked up a lot. So I really don't have anything else done to the car at the moment, other than that. I mean, I haven't done any blackout trim. I haven't done any switching the emblems over to Holden stuff, which I know is popular, which I'm on the fence about. I'm not sure if I really want to do that, but I have had a lot of people tell me that I should black out the chrome, which, again, I'm kind of on the fence with that, just because I think it gives the car a little extra pop with the light. Not that the color doesn't do that well enough, but it's got tinted windows. It's got the black valance in the back. So I think the wheels and everything, it's just the right balance in my opinion, but that's just me. But it is my car. So ultimately, as far as anything else goes, I'm not really sure. A lot of people do LSA superchargers. I don't know if I want to do that necessarily, just because of the cost involved, and in all honesty, I'm pretty happy with my car the way it is now, but that could change. So give it about a year or so, I'm sure I'll be looking for something different, which who knows at that point what I'll be up to and into. So I don't know. Let me know what you guys think, what you suggest. Did I make the right decision with what I've done so far? Did I do anything wrong? What would you do different? Let me know in the comments below. And as always, if you're checking this out for the first time, please like and subscribe, and feel free to share this. And have a wonderful evening.